team! Welcome back to the Magic Cactus. Welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Welcome back to Bonneyville. Welcome back to the PlayStation 5. Welcome to my channel. Hello, how are you? Look at this cactus. This is amazing. How'd this cactus get up here? Look at this thing. I just spotted this. This is just insane. Anyway, here we are. We're back at Bonneyville, and stuff's happening, as you will have seen. Stuff is happening. Yes, I put in the commuter line. So I did put in the commuter line that I said I was going to do, and it runs under here, just like on the other side, which is over here. You see, we got a line under there. We got a line under here, so it's running up either side of the river, and it takes us all the way up here. And crosses over in this loop. This is the narrowest point of the river, and I had a long thought about how I was going to do this, and how I was going to make this go in. And I don't think that this is the worst idea I've ever come up with. So this area is already kind of an elevated mesa anyway. And to try and get it to connect up here, like earlier, or like bridge over and then drop down, and it was all going to be interesting anyway. So I ended up opting for this solution, which is it flies over the top of the existing, and then it kind of ties into the existing hill here and follows the gradient of the hill down, connects up to the bridge. Bridge connections are always a bit wonky donkey. You can see that you end up with this you end up with the wall of the bridge intersecting the track, which is a major nuisance, but we'll just ignore that because that's a foible of the game and not actually engineering principles. And then I crossed the lane over here to make it relatively simple. So sorry if you can hear any noise going on, it's my dog just barking outside. So I did all of that and I connected it up and it's all good. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think it's a dreadful idea. I think it's a fine idea. I think it works okay. I did disconnect this road because there wasn't a lot of room here, and I haven't connected it up because nobody's using it, so who cares? So so there you go. So that's what I was doing. I've been doing that. A bit of a tight turn here. Had to mess around with some things. It's not quite as fast as I would have liked. I did say it was going to be a tight turn and it was going to be a reduced speed, but you're coming into the station anyway. So I don't think it's a major drama. Llama. Yeah, was he not under there? No, he's over here. What's he doing at the minute? He's traveling 100 Ks. So I mean, he's doing 100 Ks. So that's okay. When we get high-speed trains, which are coming soon, we'll rechange some of these. We'll change some of these longer routes into high-speed tracks. We'll see about high-speed trains and things, although they won't come in until much later. So that's what I've been doing. On top of some other things that I have been doing, some of the things I've been doing involve this stuff. This stuff is called catenary. What is catenary, you ask? Well, if I can get the camera correctly, catenary is the stuff that powers the electric trains. The electric trains, you say? Yes! The electric trains, I say. Look at this chappy here. So, we've got ourselves some electric trains. They came in 1919. It's 1923 now. So, the electric train, big, grunty, and quick. So we were using the Atlantic, as you recall, power 700, tractive 100. This is 3,300 with a tractive effort of 516 and does a top speed of 120 versus this doing 100. Many of the Atlantic trains that are hauling cargo are struggling to get to 100. They're struggling to get to like 70. So having this as an option is great in terms of speed and capacity. So in this case, it's speed. So this is the timber plant over here, and we're supplying timber to over here, where it's being picked up by this guy and turned into tools. And as you probably recall from my last video, tools was a bit of a problem. We'll talk about that in a minute. So this is a relatively short line. We're hauling cargo. It's very important cargo. It really, really is. And the importance here really is the speed. You can see we're making a lot of money on this line. So I opted to change some of the lines over, and I'm still working through that based on an assessment process. Pardon me. I'm getting better, but my cough is still bad. So that we can move this stuff faster. So we've got two trains. The second train is here. They've backed up a little bit because just that's how things happen. So they're proving to be very worthwhile for me. One is nearly 10 million, the other is like 1.3. That's just disparities in how things are playing out in terms of cargo. But they're both making money. They're actually now shorter than they were, but they go faster. So because they go faster, they are helping me. He's doing 80, which is great. Previously, the previous train was doing about 60. We've got a train here, which is this one's moving along. He's doing 78, which isn't too bad. But yeah, so I was doing that. Likewise, over here. There's this train here. So the train carrying oil between these two, this was backed up solidly with crude oil because of how long. This is a hill. This is a bit of a hill here. So there's a bit of a gradient. So the trains coming up here, the heavy ones struggle. Look, he's struggling at like below 70. So again, for the power to keep up the frequency on this one is why I decided to go with the electric train. So I have been doing that, but not everywhere. I've been doing it selectively. I haven't been doing it just like willy-nilly across the board. That's the switch, not the train. Why haven't I been doing it willy-nilly across the board? This is the 442 Atlantic, which is $432,000 a year to maintain. This is $2 million a year to maintain, right? The overall cost doesn't matter. We got 3.5 billion. So a $2 million train simply doesn't matter. What does matter is the fact that this is $2 million a year. So we really, really, really need some high quality lines to make this work, and they need to be making me a lot of money. And I think there's other places that this will work out. Possibly here. Possibly this oil and fuel line will be the kind of place that we can do it. This is just running up here between these two. Tends to be a bit slow, pulls a lot of stuff. It's, we may be able to do something about that. Let me just have a look. What is the speed of these? See, these are supposed to be all 120s. So, yeah, so we might be able to improve some of those things. The longer lines I haven't got into because you need to pay for the catenary. So I'm currently just looking at testing it on shorter lines and various other bits and pieces. That's what I'm working on there. I don't think there may be room for some of the stuff over to Palencia because that does make a lot of money, but I haven't done any of that yet. And the only other place that I was messing around with it is this steel plant here. So over here we now have 3 trains. I had to add in a second platform here because the issue that we have on this steel plant, this steel production had dropped considerably, and I was like, what's going on here? And it's to do with the ore. I can't get enough ore into this plant. Um, I really can't. I mean, saying that, it's what is that? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. It's a tier 7 steel mill. It's producing a heck of a lot. But we can manage to get an awful lot of coal in for some strange reason. So I don't know why it's so limiting. Um, so I have changed this to the extent that I now have 3 trains running, but the reality is that, as you can see here, that is now maxing out the demand from here. That's it. It's a level 5 mine, and it isn't going to get any better. So what I think I will need to do is I will need to balance this out, and at the minute I think we are running into difficulties because this is set to full. So I'll just leave that as what's there, and then they can get going. And what I need to do is this guy's actually mostly empty, aren't you? Why? What? You're going because you're empty? That doesn't make any sense. Can you go back? You can't go back because they don't understand when they're not far enough away. He'll sort himself out eventually. But what we need to do is we need to shorten these trains. So it will be better to have 3 shorter trains running more frequently than the longer trains. But they are electric, and they're electric to do this job a little bit quicker. They're being a little bit hampered. It's not ideal. This one is one that I'm working on. It will be one to fix, but we certainly have increased the amount of steel that's being produced here, which is great. So that's some of the basics of what I've been doing. What else have I been doing? Well, I spent a lot of time down here. I did say we are looking at these situations. We are really struggling with some simple things like fuel and tools and getting them to Arrecife and all of that kind of jazz, and food and whatnot. So what we need to focus on now is growing places like Arrecife by getting more fuel here and more tools here and more so on. So I have been looking into that. I haven't been looking too into detail at the fuel. I mean, you can see that we have a need for fuel trucks. So let's add 5 more fuel trucks and see if that helps a little bit. But realistically speaking, I think um, where's the Arrecife fuel over here? So, I mean, we've got 1 train. It's in bad condition. It's just leaving. We don't seem to be getting the production here. Um, Now, this is coming from over here. So this is supposed to be supplying fuel to here, which is then supplying fuel back down there. So I'm a little bit confused about this one. Um, that said, where are we? Way over here um, is a lot of fuel. I wonder if this guy's not going like nearly as big as he could be, but that's a long commute for fuel. So, there's not that many places that produce fuel on the map. Um, so I'm not super sure. This guy should be doing more, and I don't know why he's not. It says he's having issues with his shipments. So maybe it's just the time taken for it to get here and then go down there. Um, I don't really know. We'll have to have a look into that. tools wise, tools wise over here, um, that's a bit of a work in progress. There's a lot happening down here with tools. So there's a lot happening down here with tools. So what we've got here happening is we have got wood going to here to be made timber. I've changed this over, so this is now wood going over here to be made timber. The timber from here and here is variously going here and also over here. And then the tools here, which are now here, are heading back to Arrecife because he doesn't need tools right now. So we are getting some tools from Arrecife. We are also getting tools from Villa de Cans. So Villa de Cans is also doing that. But we never seem to have enough. We can't seem to maximize these lines, and it's to do with shipment, I think, because we're not shipping enough to all the right places. Um, it's um, it's not it's not um, it's not going up a level, which then means it makes more. In theory, this should be fine. I mean, the demand is 140, so I'm not sure what the story with that is. Again, something to look into. this this down here has become quite convoluted, and I'm trying to figure out if there's any way to streamline it because I have log trucks here that are going here that are dropping off logs. I have log trucks here that are going here that are dropping off logs. Like, oh, look at this new stuff that we're getting in. I have logs from here that are going over here to make timber. I have timber from here and timber from here that are going here and here. There's a lot going on, and there's as you can see, a lot of trucks. At the minute, it's not a problem in that there are a lot of trucks, but there's no like major congestion. It's busy, but there's no major congestion. There's a lot of trucks heading into the town, which is, it is what it is, and that's how it is. But um, I sort of wonder if this can't be achieved it's in some slightly better way from an efficiency perspective. And I did mention that there's a forest over there, but I haven't even started figuring out how I would even get wood from there over here without causing confusion. It's quite congested down here, and this small station is quite congested. Um, so I don't know. I don't want to go adding in too many things if it's not necessary. And this place is, I don't know. By no means is it, or is this even like chocker? So I need to have a think about that. I need to have a think about that. So that's what we're focusing on. How do we get more fuel? How do we get more tools? Bricks is fine. Food is not fine. We are getting food here. I did say, and it is true that El Puerto food is coming this way, and there's room. So I don't know. Maybe we can pick up food here and run it over to Arrecife. That would make sense, wouldn't it? We create an additional demand. We could put an additional little depot on the side of the train station here and run the trucks out, and I think that would be fine. We could definitely do that. So that's something to do. There was a bit of congestion in places. I had to mess with some things. One one of the things. Which one did I mess with the most? Which was the one that was giving me the most amount of headache, and where was it? Now that I come to think about it. Was it Villa de Cans? No, it wasn't Villa de Cans. Where was it? Who was giving me the most amount of trouble? Was it Ubeda? Ubeda was giving me a lot of trouble, but for a different reason, and we'll have a look at that. Um, I can't remember. I can't remember which one was giving me the most amount of headache. Yeah, not sure. Might have been this one. Pathfinding. Oh my gosh. So, you can configure a station with different street access connections, right? Entrance exit, so you got multi-use and you've got one way in and out. Now here's the problem. The problem is that when you set up a line, right, the game picks whatever entrance and exit it likes best. Um, it it doesn't allow for flexibility. So if I had three entrances, it would pick one. If one entrance got busy, it wouldn't change its mind and go to the second entrance. It infuriatingly creates a logjam of traffic. Same with the exit. It picks one exit and it's determined that that's the only exit. It won't choose an alternative exit. So the problem you've got is while the flexibility of the configuration allows you to choose, the pathfinding of the vehicles does not. And then the only way you can change that is by adding in waypoints. So you can deliberately do that. However, and here's the other issue. Look at this layout. Do you notice anything? I do. Do you know what I notice? I notice that there's this big bit here and then all these narrow bits. Do you know why? Because this is the only two-way bit. This is only one way. This is one way. That's one way. So you can't really change the configuration a lot. They will always come into this central area. They will always mess around in here. They will find their way out. They will go back. They will loop around. The way they pathfind their way around the interior of this inland port is also a major nuisance. So when you're starting to get lots and lots and lots of trucks and lots and lots and lots of different products, it starts to get quite complex and convoluted. And trying to get the trucks to do what you want them to do is annoying. So quite often the trucks create a congestion problem where one is not necessarily required. I've just remembered where it was. It was Palencia. It was over here. This place was giving me major earache. Major earache. You can still see it is. Look at how many trucks are coming through here. There's a lot of trucks coming through here. And look, they love getting jammed up. They love creating congestion problems. This one was a tricky one. So I had to go with a grade adjustment because this is a major arterial road. So this major arterial road was just connected here, and this is a cargo route. I couldn't do this one as well because actually vehicles do come out of here and turn left. If I want to avoid that, I'm going to have to do another road connection and have them connect somewhere else. That might have to happen in the future. For now, this junction seems to be functioning okay. This junction was not, and there was just nothing I could do about it except just completely remove it. So I did this grade adjustment thing. I also then had to put in this bypass for trucks coming from the city because given that I'd gotten rid of that and I didn't want to then congest this and change the stuff around there, and I've got now two entrances. I mean, it was, and you can see there's like we got a lot of trucks, but not a lot of stuff. So I can probably start trimming down trucks. That said, are we getting enough stuff in here? We're not. We need a lot more food. We need more machines. We could do with more tools, but that's probably fine. We're also bringing in quite a bit of fuel for both the fuel and the plastics. So we got those trucks as well. It's a busy place. There's a lot going on. It's a major headache. What we don't have yet is really any meaningful tools. We still just have the same basic streets, which really should have come in a lot sooner. We should have definitely more functionality by now. I mean, one-way roads. It's like, I happen to be looking it up today. Do you know when the first one-way system was introduced in the world? Right? The 17th century in London for horses. All right, so one-way systems have been around for a very long time. We don't have that option yet. And 1924, the substantial one-way systems of Paris and New York were started in the early 1900s. I think 1908. So the fact that we can't put in a one-way road is just infuriating. So that's kind of bothering me a little bit and has been bothering me a little bit. The other thing I had to do in terms of traffic management is traffic lights. Now, what I did find out is traffic lights appear on the large streets. So when you connect up a smaller street to the large streets or the large country road, you get traffic lights. So we're getting traffic lights, but again, you have to be careful with that because then you can get this situation happening here where you get a whole load of traffic lights and specifically Ubeda, you can get this situation. Traffic light, traffic light, traffic light, traffic light, traffic light. So Ubeda is a problem child. And here's the problem child here. Look at all this traffic. Right? So we have all this traffic here coming into this place. And it was chocker around here. So I had to put in an entire bypass to support the steel trucks and the plastic trucks that are going to the goods plant over here. And we have so many products coming in here and so many things that are required to come here. But this place is still just way too busy with trucks. And like I said, as you can see, the traffic lights to a certain degree are holding them all up in terms of where they're going. Now there's no way to get rid of those traffic lights unless I go down to the next road. So if I go down to the next road and I say, actually, you know what, I think that all of these traffic lights are not helping me in this situation, what I can do is do that. Right? So I've now gotten rid of the traffic lights. So now there should be a little bit more opportunity to free up some space for some of the vehicles coming and going. So that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been up to, trying to fix some of these particularly traffic problems and trying to have a look at cities. This guy's getting no food. It's traffic related. This is wheat. This is stuff. So I mean, I guess, yeah, these guys are supposed to be picking up food. I'm pretty sure they pick up food here and they're supposed to take it into the city, aren't they? Yeah, they are. So what's happening here? Something's going on. We're not getting enough wheat. It's traffic related. Look at this. We've got this happening over here as well. So we've got all these trucks that are stuck in each other's way. These are doing okay. So there are things like that that are happening that, you know, for stuff like this, what does it mean? Well, it's probably just sometimes some of the problem is, well, we've got traffic lights here for a start. So let's get rid of those by doing that. So that gets rid of the traffic lights there. And then you can go there. Traffic lights there is fine. So we'll move some of those. Some of that traffic is then beginning to move. Why are the rest of you stuck? So things like that. Why is this guy here not moving? I don't know. I don't know why he's not moving. So what's this guy's problem? Why are they not filling up? What's happened with that? That this guy is not filling up. He's supposed to go to Lower Ubeda. He's supposed to pick up wheat. He's supposed to travel to Ubeda North, and he's supposed to drop off wheat and pick up food. And he's going to the exchange. What's he doing at the exchange? This is the exchange? No, that's Ubeda Halt. Oh, he's going in here to drop off food? These guys are... What are they doing? They're dropping off food here? Right, okay. Things like this that have happened. And I don't know... Some of these lines I've run across are very weirdly set up. I may have done them when I was drunk. I have no idea. So I need to go in specifically here and see what's going on with this stuff and get back to you. So let me get in with that, and I'll come back to you when I've sorted that out. I'll see you soon. Right, I'm back. This is clearing up. Um, and this I don't know what was going on with this one. And these guys are like moving because I got rid of all of that stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that I've had to been doing. This was weird. This was to do with the bricks trucks. So they were picking up rocks, taking the rocks to the brick manufacturing place, construction materials, making bricks, and then coming back here to drop the bricks off to obviously supply the bricks. But at some point I changed the vehicles and the game had automatically selected load everything. For some random reason, somewhere along the line, they've been dropping off wheat. I don't know how, where, or when that occurred, but it's now depleting and going away. So it's been holding up my brick supply because these guys down here have been picking up wheat, not bricks. So who's leaving? Are you leaving? You're leaving with a brick. Thank you very much. So when that sorts itself out, the bricks is fine. I don't know what it's, and the food, I don't know. We'll see what happens when the wheat sorts itself out. Anyway, you remember? Do you remember? So we've connected this up. We've got the loop going. Now the last thing was these 3 cities to connect up with commuter trains somehow, and I said to you that I have this mod, which is this open cut station, and I really wanted to have a look at. Should we have a look at it? Because it's really very canny. So it has a number of options if you select the options. So it has it. I mean, it can be massive, up to 12 tracks. Look at this thing. Who's gonna? That's like insane. Anyway, we're not going to do that. There's you'll see that the tracks is weird because it's split platform in the middle. So it does some interesting things. So I think it's not intended to be like a super busy because it's a commuter. It's not intended to be super busy. So I'm kind of thinking once we put this in place, it's in place. We're not going to be removing this again. We're not going to be redoing it. I don't think anyway. I think 2 tracks is fine. Platform lengthwise, once again, we're not going to be making ridiculously long trains. I think some of the really high speed trains can be quite long, but I think if it's like that's long. You have to fit that into a city. That's pretty long. 240. I'm inclined to keep it at 160, just because. Track types. I think we'll put high speed in for future proofing purposes. Catenary, I think yes. You have this track layout, so we can change the track layout if we want to have it centralized with the 2 things, or we can have it going down the middle with the 2. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm inclined to say. I mean, I like this version with the trains on either side. You got the depth. I think we should go as deep as possible. I'll explain why in a minute. You have the overpasses. Now this is good because it comes with the built-in road. Now I think we need 2 built-in roads because I think that would very much help us where we're going to build it. Entry on overpasses. So you can see there that when you do entry on overpasses, it changes the the layout. I'm okay with that. The entry type I think is great because we can change it. So I still think we should go with era specific. Um, I quite I quite like either of these. Um, I quite like the slightly taller. You got the platform era platforms at the bottom, which change slightly, but you can't really see. Well, you can see a little bit with that. I think era C is a bit new. I think we'll go with era B. The wall type, I think I like that wall type, and this is the streets. You can have the medium street. You can have the small street. You can have the extra large street. Large one-way streets, after talking about medium one-way, small one-way, large country road, medium country road, etc. I'm inclined to say, let's go back to large streets, because I think it's going to go in the middle. Tram tracks, that's tram tracks on the streets. We don't use that. Free streets. Um, I don't know what free streets means. Free streets, no, yes. That people can build on them? I think yes. Right, and that's the kind of thing. So that's the kind of thing that I want to build. Where are we going to build it? Decisions. It services the public. So we kind of want it public centric. And for me, public centric is like down here somewhere. So also we got this big road, and we got these houses here, but this is the kind of commercial side. So I'm inclined to say this is going to play havoc with my city, but I'm inclined to say what I would like to do is I would like to put it somewhere over here, right? Um, and I think near the edge of the town. So I think it needs to be in here. Now, if it is going to be in here, we're going to have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery to make in here work. For a start, let's make that large, right? We're then going to need to get rid of this road and this road as a minimum. Let's get rid of that road too, just for now. Now, we're going to lose some buildings here. So this is it. This is where we want to put it. It's gonna see how it has an awful lot of issues trying to line up with roads. I reckon, can we turn it? So it's trying. It really is trying. This junction is a problem. So we need to get rid of that one. Sorry. But I reckon if we can shoehorn it there, 12 buildings removed. Yanks. But there we go. Look at that. Look at that. That looks different, doesn't it? Now then, can we tie in the roads before we try doing anything? I would like you to be straight. There you go. We can tie in a road there. We can tie in that road there. And then this was a slightly smaller road. I reckon if we can do that. It's a bit of a bendy road, isn't it? Bit of a bendy road. Whatever, I don't care. Right, so we've got these roads. They're a bit out of place because they're a modern style road. And I don't think we can change them. No, because they're inbuilt into the system, you can't change them. I don't know why we've got this lovely fluoro coloring. I can't seem to get rid of the fluoro coloring. I don't know why. So yeah, so that's that. Look, it's a bit hinky. There's a little bit of hinkiness. Maybe that will sort itself out. maybe we'll need to do something with that. I don't know if the old smoothie tool is going to do really much. No, the smoothie tool doesn't know what to do with that. Flatten tool? No, the flatten tool is trying to go down to the bottom, eh? Now we've created a beast. A bit of a monster that needs to be fixed. Right, okay. I can see I'm going to have to do some fixing with that because now this doesn't know what's going on. I think we can flatten it from there, can't we? Flatten it out from that side. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Go from there, flatten it out all along here. Right, okay. Are you going down? You're certainly trying. Okay, let's try over here. Flatten. And this side, flatten. And over here, flatten. And over there, flatten. Right, okay, there we go. So we now have this thing, which I think looks great. Do you think that looks great? I think it looks great. We probably need a street, I think, across here. From there to there, from where to where, from who to what. If we do that, that should make it look reasonable. It's a bit annoying that we have these collection of junctions all close to each other and they've all got traffic lights. We'll see what that does to traffic per se. We could, if we got rid of that, we could, because it's a dead end. Oh, could we? Will it let me? Straight line. So like we have this kind of a cul-de-sac idea. It's very hard to line it up. And the cul-de-sac disappears under the building. I mean, it's a shame we can't get a square end. It's not quite 100%, is it? I think that might be close to 100%. I mean, in terms of what I'm looking for. Trying to do this in small increments. There? Try that. Yeah, okay, it's ugly, but that might be slightly better, I think. And then it's definitely, hopefully, connected. Yeah, it's mostly connected. Excellent. So we have this undercut place thing doohickey, and then we need to do the tracks. And this is why I built it down low, because we want the tracks to be down. So that would be flat. Is that enough to be a tunnel? It's not quite enough. Down again. There you go. So that's sufficient to make it a tunnel, and we can do that. And then this one here. Need to come up to meet the edge of the thing. We'll keep it whatchamacallit thing parallel is the word. I'm trying to see this one. There you go. Oh, look at how the tunnel doesn't line up. Isn't that annoying? So when you do it like this, can we get that tunnel to line up in any way? Why won't you line up? These things. Just, that's annoying, because if it lined up perfectly, that would be great. I wonder if we could, let's take it all the way out of town. Is that a straight line? It's not a straight line. That's a straight line. So if we take that all the way out of town on a straight line, we get that. can we do the same here? So we start off here on this one, and we go all the way out of town on a straight line, and we go down. How close? Ah, that is super annoying. Isn't that super annoying? That is just like Mr. Super Annoying. Standard tunnel. Anyway, such is the game. Such is the game. So there you go. So the plan is. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is where's my passenger line? My passenger line is this line over here, right? You remember this line over here? Um, my intention is to somehow hook up to this line. This line is already underground. So if we were to take from underground, and we're gonna head out underground. You should still be underground. Kind of like this way. But I still want it to be quick. So it's trying to come back up again. I don't want it to be back up. I want it to be underground there. Because I want it to go under here and then come up. And if it came up, where would it come up? I'm not even sure it's worth coming up. I mean, I'd almost say we'd want to keep it in, noting that this is a inside-outside thing. So we have this whole underground network connection, which runs under the countryside, and connects us up to Antequera. Is that fair? Do you think, is that realistic? Is that just crazy talk? Would you do that? I don't know if you'd do that. Would you? I mean, I think what you'd want to do is you'd want to try and make it out here above ground, wouldn't you? You'd want to try and do something with this road. So maybe no. Maybe that's just crazy. That's a lot of money and a lot of craziness. And I don't think that's realistic. So maybe what we need to do is think of it from above ground first. So how would we get it above ground? So I think it needs to stay below ground coming out of the city. That's a little bit like places like East London. If you go to East London, the underground system becomes above ground once you get... Why will you not pick the rail, for heaven's sakes? Once you get out of London, it becomes an above ground track. So we're here saying, yeah, okay, this is the edge of the city for now anyway. So we're going to bring this above ground. How does it get above ground? It gets above ground here. And I'm happy with that being straight. So it gets above ground about here. I know we're rocking on the catenary side of things. Don't worry about that. So there we are. So I think this is us above ground. So it's a nice big straight. And I think what we need to do is there is an existing line here. So it might look a bit wonky. Let's have a look at this. How does that look? This hump doesn't look right, does it? Let's delete that. And delete that. And delete that. And delete that. But I think that's fine. So I think, no, this is too high. From here to this one. Let's see if we can get that. Does that slope look right? Yeah, that looks a bit better as a slope. I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, so from there, what I think we then need to do is we can head down the side of the rail track. We can head down this way. As far as here. And then I think what we need to do, yeah, is can we... Oh, it's 101. It's 120. We're going to have to redo that bridge. It's going to peel in here. And then what we can do from here is like peel it over this way. Will there be enough space to do that? There will. Right, so there you go. So the idea is we're connecting this up to the line. So we're connecting this up here. It's going to peel off. We're going to redo this bridge. We're going to connect up here. We're going to run along the side of the freight. Then we're going to peel off. And I might change the angle of the peel off here so that it's a bit less bendy. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to disappear into the underground network. And the underground network runs under the town, city of whatever, Antequera. And what we'll do eventually is we'll connect another underground station at Rivas and an underground station at Villa de Cans. And then there'll be underground trains for these three and some overground connections perhaps between them. And then that will bring us in. Whether we can from Rivas connect the train out this way, I will wait and see. What I will do is, because I'm fast running out of time on this one, what I will do is I will go ahead and do that. And when that is set up, well, certainly to Antequera, not to the other places, not just yet. I want to test Antequera first. I'll set up Antequera, and when I've got that set up in a train in, I'll bring you in and we'll have a look, and then we'll wrap it up there. I'll see you real soon. Ta-ta for now. Right, welcome back. Here we are. Yeah, okay, so it's done, and I have connected it. And you can see here that people are coming up and people are using it. And this allows the connection on the street on this side, which is great. And we have set up a line, if we have a look at it. And we have people queuing already. And there's a train under there. There's a train under there. So what I did... what's the story with this? Did I cut this? I should connect that. I think I'll connect it over here, if you don't mind. Let me just quickly do this. Sorry, distractions. That's probably not the right way to do it. Why would you do that? That's just do it like that, and then do it like that. That makes more sense. Right. So yeah. So here's the line. So I just I tweaked it a little bit. There's a little humpy bumpy bit here, so it comes up a little bit and then goes down, and then it disappears off. Just follows the cargo track. I sorted out the bridge, just a few minor tweaks, nothing major. I did a crossover down here, and it now crosses into Arrecife, and it is the Antequera Arrecife commuter, and there are people waiting, which is great. So there you go. So that is the Sunken Station. And it does work well. I wish I could change this color. I don't know why it's this sort of bright... What is that? It's like a neon pink. I don't know why it has to be neon pink. That seems like a bit much. I want to see what comes in. This thing, obviously, this enormous residential building just arrived. So, yeah, we'll see. I could not, despite my best efforts, I could not get this to line up better. Sadly enough, I tried a number of different approaches to try and get this tunnel entrance to line up, and it simply wouldn't. So there you go. So we destroyed a few things, we lost a few things. The population has dropped a little bit. I'm hoping that this additional demand will pick it up again. You can see here, Antiquera is doing fantastic. It's getting all the fuel it needs. It's getting pretty much all the bricks it needs and pretty much all the tools it needs. And once we sort out the goods for it, the Antiquera should be rocking along. Now that we've got this, so now that I know that I can do that and how to do that, I think what we'll be doing ultimately is we will be doing the same in Rivas, and we will be doing the same in Villa de Cans, and I'll have a think about how we connect the underground overground lines appropriately. So there you go. I've sort of run out of time. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have liked this particular episode, please click the like. Feel free to chuck in a super thanks, which would be super thanks. Feel free to subscribe, and indeed I recommend you do so. Except for the super thanks, none of those other things will actually cost you anything other than the click of a button. So please do like and subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber and you are feeling flush with cash, do consider membership. There are some great benefits, and it really isn't that expensive, and it would help me out an awful lot. Ta-ta for now.